Yo, what's up guys, Nanger here, and today's video is gonna be, I guess, like an offshoot of my intro to deck building. This time what I'm gonna be talking about is identifying win cons in deck construction. Now, a win con is basically short for win condition, and that's anything that helps you win the game in your desired fashion. A win con could be, obvious win cons are stuff like Albert, because Albert, Saber Strike, and suddenly your opponent is missing a lot of HP, or stuff like Heavenly Aegis, because Heaven rebukes you and you can't get rid of it, and then your opponent just beats you down with it. However, not all win cons are going to be immediate, and not all win cons are going to be from the combination of just one card. For example, what I like to do when I build is I like to make my decks, if I'm not playing a combo deck and I'm not playing aggro, I like my decks to have multi-tiered win cons, and that is to say, different ways that I can win a game each and every game. So we're gonna go ahead and look at the deck. We're gonna go ahead and look at this deck, actually. Okay, so this was my really shitty take on on Control Sword. I say that this one was shitty just because I kind of built this one in like 5 minutes. I didn't really take that much effort in building it, and I do plan on fixing it later. However, when you look at the deck, what do you immediately see? Oh, it doesn't look like it has a defined win con. That's because Sword as a whole doesn't really have a defined win con other than Albert. Usually when I play Sword, I usually try to go for the value game. However, for this deck, possible win cons are Hero of Antiquity. Hero of Antiquity is a win con because he's a very sticky / hard to remove creature, because once you get past 5 HP on a creature, it becomes very difficult to kill it. Part of why Sybil and Albert are so bitched about is because on 5 mana you just have a 7 HP creature that's just like chilling on the board, and in the case of Albert, if he was going face because your opponent didn't have a board, well, it's very difficult to kill him, and most times it's going to cost you is going to cost you 2 cards to do so. And Hero is no different. The only way that you can get rid of Hero is by polymorphing him, or banishing him, or killing him in battle damage. Polymorphs and banishes aren't that common. The only classes that really play them is Haven, who has a very specific banish, and that currently doesn't really run Priest of the Cudgel that often, and also Rune, who has Mutagenic Bolt and Winter's Caprice. So most times when your hero comes down, if it comes down on a near clear board, he's probably winning you that game. The other win condition is Roland. So Roland summons Durandal. Durandal says everything you control, including your hero, cannot take more than 4 damage from any single instance. So this makes your front guard stickier, your Roland stickier, and your hero stickier as well. Just because many decks lack the ability to remove a minion that'll take 2 hits to remove, just because you don't want to be taking -1s to clear stuff, because that's a good way for you to lose fairly quickly. Another win condition of this deck is Albert, because as I mentioned before, on turn 9 he gets an enhance, he does 6 damage. If you have an Evo, he does 10 damage, and that's just a lot of damage all at once. Additionally, you can also go ahead and trade with your Albert if you need to, and it's just a very robust win con. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and look at another deck. Okay. we're actually gonna go ahead and look at this deck. Alright, so this deck, same thing. You have several different win cons. You have Thane pushing effect damage from you making trades with all your little dudes and just like racking up a ton of burn damage. Ektar, because obviously this head can't be taken. Attendant of Night for getting sticky and just kind of stick on the board, and just Zombie Party because Zombie Party can give you a board. Like Zombie Party is essentially a removal spell that says, hey, remove some small guy, develop a 6/6 worth of stats for free. And it's just important to understand exactly how you want to try to like aim to use your win con each and every game, because sometimes you're going to need to use your win con early, and that's part of why multi-tiered win cons are better, because you can kind of adapt to your situation. Because the only time when you actually get to use your desired win con, if you're not actually setting up a situation where that'll be how you win, is if you either A, get a god hand, in which case it doesn't matter what you kill them with, just because they're already gonna die because you got a god hand, or B, when you're playing a complete monkey on ladder who just kind of like lets you do whatever you want, and it makes a lot of misplays. But you shouldn't be banking on either of those two things to happen. Alright, now so instead of looking at decks, we're actually just gonna go to cards. More win cons that people don't realize are win cons are Professor of Taboos. The reason why Professor of Taboos is a win con is because Professor is one of the strongest turn 6 plays in the game, because Professor plus Evo gives you, alright, so you kill one thing, you make a token, and during the end phase sorry about that. And then during the end phase, Professor will go ahead and trigger his Earthright and kill something else. Each thing that dies will give you a token during your turn. So essentially, Professor is a 7/11 worth of stats. Sorry, it's a 7/11 worth of stats before trades, and most times you're trading into like a 3 or 4 HP minion. So most times your Professor is usually at 4 or 5 HP. And that's a pretty strong win con. It's not really talked about that much, just because it's not like as flashy as other possible win conditions. And that's another point of why I wanted to make this video. Not every win condition has to be flashy. Some of them can just be simple and to the point. An example of another possible flashy legendary, flashy win condition is Worm God of the Skies. The reason why she's flashy is because, well, it's a pretty simple effect, but it's also very, very powerful. Suddenly getting the stats doubled of all your Dragoncraft creatures is insane. Like the biggest and easily the most hyped one was Genesis Dragon. Dealing with a 7/9 Genesis can be difficult enough. How the fuck do you deal with a 14/18 Genesis Dragon, or if evolved, how are you dealing with an 18/22 Genesis Dragon? You just don't. He just kills you. Let's see, what else can I find? But yeah, win conditions come in all shapes and sizes. They don't need to be big. They don't need to be flashy. All they need to do is just win you the game. Another example of this is, well, actually, this is the most notorious one. Shadow Reaper. Well, unless you're new to the game, you've most certainly seen and or witnessed and or done the pre-nerf turn 4 double Shadow Reaper. You buff them to 4/4, they're in stealth mode, and they're just gonna get bigger, and your opponent can't deal with it, and then so suddenly you just win the game. Like, and that's a very, very strong win con, because not only is he in stealth, but he's also growing, will continue to grow, and because you have 2 of them, it's easy enough to deal with 1 Shadow Reaper in 1 turn, but you're not gonna be able to deal with 2, especially when they've already hit you for at least 8 to 10 plus damage. Like, you can do it, but it's very, very difficult to do, as in almost nigh on impossible. The other notorious win con is Roach. Roach is one of the original cards in the game that proves that big things come in small packages. You might not think he's a win con, but then you'll suddenly think differently when the Roach player has suddenly hit you for like 18 damage with a Roach combo, and then you're just like, oh shit, I died. And then you'll get like PTSD from the whole scree Roach noises, just because like when he gets played, you kind of like hear like a skittering of like how like a Roach would sound. Damn. As far as win conditions go, you want to try to make them as synergistic as possible in your deck. Like, for example, if you're playing a mid-range deck and you're playing like a fast mid-range deck, don't play fucking Bahamut in your deck, because that doesn't make any sense. If you're playing like a slower win condition sort of deck, you generally get like more luxury to play more things. However, if you're playing fast mid range and you want to try to align your win condition with what your deck is doing. Just because the more overall synergy your deck has, the better it's going to flow, and the better you're going to do as a whole. Bam. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know that this video was kind of whatever, but I did want to talk about this at least once. And yeah, I will be making some more videos today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.